Well, we have had over 1,119 Appalachian Trail no-boat through hikers step off on their hike this year already, Daisy. Ain't that amazing? And those folks out there looking at them, they are just loving it. The reports I've been getting in are just loving it. And so let's go ahead and chat about what's going on with the Appalachian Trail, the news coming right hot off the trail out there. I'm Ramdino, y'all, and I come to you here each week with the Appalachian Trail update about what's going on with the hikers. Right now, we're right in the middle of no-boat season where everything is stepped off, and actually, we're kind of getting into the waning part of the bubble. So, the bubble, we've already hit the maximum part of the bubble for this year, and with the exception of one day left, that's April 1st. All the days that the trail have been maxed out, those folks have already stepped off. We'll get more into that in just a little bit. Let's talk about the hikers that are out there on the trail. So Moxie, he's made it to the Smokies, and actually he should be out by now. Shadows entered the Smokies with the Tramley of Shredder, No Rush, and Pipes, and they may be also out as well. Oz, he's made it past the 100-mile point, and he should be in the area of the Knock, which is the Nantahala Outdoor Center. Canvasback and Easy, they are north of Irwin. Stick, he gives us a trail update about the Smokies. He said the Fontana shelter there at Fontana, which is the Fontana Hilton, was full of about 20 people there, and that's and it can handle 20 people there without much problem. And there are some tinning areas around there as well. But he said there was a lot of folks there. He also said the Double Spring Gap shelter, which is right there near that, was full too, but a lot of those were section hikers. He's encountered somewhere around 10 to 15 hikers that are hiking around him at any given time on the trail, and he sends in this report from Hot Springs.
Hey Ramdino, I'm here in Hot Springs, North Carolina. There's the AT symbol on the sidewalk behind me, and it's been a wonderful day. Just completed the Appalachian Challenge at the Great Smoky Mountains Diner. As for trail conditions, Great Smoky Mountains were very, very icy, especially between Klingeman's Dome and Newfound Gap. Now that may change as time goes on, but if they get more snow, the conditions will probably be the same. Conditions are beautiful after the Smokies between Hot Springs and North Carolina, or Hot Springs and Smoky Mountains. I had a beautiful day up at Max Patch and expecting beautiful weather, but colder weather coming in. So, looking forward to continuing hiking and updating you all. It is Stick the Eagle, or Stick the Eagle on YouTube.
Gadget Girl, she has made it to Dix Creek Gap, and she sends in this update.
Hi Ramdino, Gadget Girl here at the Green Dragon, taking a 00. I've made it to Dix Creek Gap. I needed to reformulate some plans when my support crew had to step out temporarily. And I'm having a great time here and highly recommend the place. Bill and Donna are wonderful.
TJ and Emily, they are taking their first 0 in Helen, Georgia, due to some storms that came in yesterday. They ran into some trail magic there at Unicoi Gap with a church group that was making burgers. And then also Munn, who we've talked about before. Munn is a trail angel from up in Pennsylvania, does a lot of work with the hikers up there and helps them out tremendously, especially with water caches. But Munn came all the way from Pennsylvania down here to North Carolina and Georgia, and he's at Unicoi Gap making blueberry pancakes there for hikers as well. They also met Miss Janet, and they say that after talking to her, she'll do anything for hikers. She's a trail angel and very well known up and down the trail, and she helps people out all the time. They did want to give a trail tip, and they said that the trail coming down from Blood Mountain is very slick, and it's not well blazed, and there have been a lot of people who have kind of been getting off trail there accidentally because it hasn't been well blazed. So the last time I went through there, the trail was so worn out coming down Blood Mountain, I don't see how you can miss it. But in any case, that is what they want to report, and they said they're having an absolute blast out here, just meeting so many wonderful people. And that is always something that is a common thread that you'll hear from all my updates, is the trail is, it's not so much about putting one foot in front of the other, it's about meeting people on the trail and just that community that you form out there on the trail. So that's awesome. The Far Side hiker, he is back out on the trail after some injuries. He actually had to be hospitalized for those. He did a pretty bad face plant and had some possible orbital fractures. So the orbital place is where your eyeball is, so possibly broke that. And so hopefully he won't be doing any more face plants, but he is through the Grayson Highlands, passing 550 mile the north Nobo mile mark, somewhere around tomorrow, and heading on toward Bland, Virginia. Scott Chapman, he has made it into the Smokies, and the Lookout Hostel reports that they have their first Nobo hiker, and that is Lost Boy. Nichols, he is made it through the Smokies. Said there was about a 5-day good weather window there that he could make it, so he beat feet and got on through the Smokies. And actually, that's kind of a typical 5 weeks is kind of a 5 days is kind of a typical trip through the Smokies. You may wind up, if you get off there at Newfound Gap, take a Nero 0, you may wind up with 6 there. If you go to Gatlinburg, but otherwise he made it through there in 5. He said the 0 at the Fontana Hilton that he took really helped him rejuvenate, paid off for his body and the weather timing, and just helped him to rest up to get that first pull coming out of Fontana there and Fontana Dam. That is a tough pull all the way up, really past Molly's Ridge Shelter. So going into the Smokies, he's trying to make it to Hot Springs by Saturday. And he did indicate that it looks like the heavy rains from yesterday may delay that some. He sends in this video.
Ramdino, these are some of the conditions in the Smokies on March 13th here. Very snowy, very icy in places, especially coming down from Klingman's Dome. But the views after Laurel Top were absolutely insane. Hope you're doing good.
Fireflow has made it to McAfee's Knob there, and she is finishing her 2023 flip-flop hike. So she thinks she is the last 2023 flip-flopper out there on the trail. She hiked 1,300 miles on the trail there in 2023, and she, well, actually she hiked 1,300 of the miles she did with a broke foot. So she finally had to get off and get that healed up, and now she's doing her last section there from Roanoke to Harper's Ferry right now, and just sitting in this killer picture there up on McAfee Knob. Bluebird, she finished the first 3 days of the Smokies. Congrats to her. She's going out at Newfound Gap, but skated down a trail of ice from Klingman's Dome. And that's not the first time I've seen some folks indicate that Klingman's Dome in that area is, the trail is pretty icy through there. That is on the north side of the mountain, so it's probably not getting any kind of sunlight. She's going to be staying with some family there through the storm that came in yesterday. Said she's doing great, no blisters. She's only had one mud sit, and she has met some of the best people in the world. She's also been fed by fresh ground 4 times, so I mean, of course she's having a great hike. Her belly's been full. Anyway, she says he's a great guy, and she sends in this video.
Hey Ramdino, Bluebird here. I thought I'd give you an update. Here is the lake. It's been a great morning. 32 degrees, a little bit of wind. So it's pretty chilly, but a great day. Hope you're having a really good day, and all your viewers, thanks for all you do. Bye.
Sassafras Jim, he is hoping to make it to Irwin early next week. He says the low temps he's seen here lately has been around 24, meeting lots of great people and having a blast. Patches and Silent Bob, they've made it to North Carolina, and they have pushed on to Franklin. Congratulations to them on getting that first state behind them. Chuck Owl, he's made it past Klingman's Dome, taking a Nero in Gatlinburg. Said the weather's in the Smokies is cold at night, but not too terrible. The trail is good in the morning, but the trail is muddy and slick once it thaws. So he's still nursing an ankle that he had an injury on, but it's getting better every day, and he's still hanging out with his buddy Bluegrass. Tara has made it to Dix Creek Gap, and she should be in North Carolina by now. She sends in this video of what conditions can be like on the trail for hikers out there. Now, she is a hammock hiker, but there are folks that are tent hikers as well. But this kind of gives you kind of a taste of what it's like being out there. at night, or being just out there on the trail, and what folks can go through. So let me go ahead and roll this video coming from Tara.
I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's been really super windy all night. Very hard to sleep. One of my tent stakes popped out, so my tarp was flopping all over the place. Big, huge gusts of wind. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning, but I think I've been up most of the night. I've got all my layers on and I'm warm. It's about 30 degrees, I think. Maybe 35. As soon as it's light out, I'll probably make some breakfast. If not before then, because I'm just getting hungry.
Believe me, the struggle is real out there, but that wind is music to my ears. I love hearing that sound of that wind, because that's what you hear a lot of times at night, especially if you're up on a ridge somewhere or getting close to the top of a ridge and not down in a down below in a draw. I don't know, that just that wind blowing through the tent there is just that's music to my ears. Interesting thing is that she says she has on all of her layers on, and she's warm. But that's kind of counterintuitive to what I grew up with as a Boy Scout and an Eagle Scout. So, you know, we were always told, and even in the military, that if you got all your clothes on, you're going to get hot. You'll be warm at first, and you'll get hot, and then you'll sweat, and then you'll get cold. And I have found that on the trail as well. So when I sleep, I don't sleep in, I have a liner. I don't sleep in a shirt. I sleep in a pair of boxers. And yes, they're cotton, but they're only for camp. And that's all I sleep in. If that's TMI, sorry about that. But I stay pretty warm in my sleep kit that I have. So I have found that if I get in there and wrap up in my puffy, and if I were to wear some type of thermals and stuff, that I would be cold in there from sweating. So, but in any case, Tara said that worked out for her. P-Rex is on week number 2, hopes to be at Fontana Dam by the middle of next week, and she begins to prepare to go into the Smokies late next week. 111, he has made it through the Rhone. Unfortunately, we did not get a video this week from 111 unless it comes in late, and I can put it in late, but right now I don't have one. But he has made it through the Rhone Mountain Highlands, one of my favorites, probably the favorite spot for me on the whole trail. Drifter and Blue, they've made it to Damascus. Boo-Rah and Buttercup, they have made it to Bly Gap on day 8. So Bly Gap is just right past the North Carolina-Georgia line. So they made it there, and they said they should be at Sunset and Chickas on Monday. That is, of course, a well-known hostel there in Franklin, North Carolina. So that is all I've got for the folks that are reporting in this week. Oftentimes I'll get some late reports in on late Saturdays or early Sundays. If you're a thru hiker out there, we want to include everybody. But last week, you may not have noticed it or not, but if you're paying attention, you saw that the resolution on my video was a whole lot better than it has been in the past. And that's because I have boosted up the resolution not only on my camera, which is my cell phone, but I've also uploading it at a higher resolution. So that takes a whole lot longer for both. After the editing phase, it takes a whole lot longer for the camera to render it, and then it takes a whole lot longer to upload it. We're talking hours here. But I think it really makes a difference on the videos, and I have not been happy in a while. I've been sacrificing some resolution for trying to get it done all on Sunday to get it out, because that's when most people are ready to watch it on Sunday. So in any case, if you're a thru hiker out there, we want to include everybody, so send me your reports and your videos and your pictures in on Wednesday or Thursday, and then I'll be filming sometime between then and Saturday and getting this out, because it does take several hours now just to render and upload that. So appreciate everybody doing that. We want to include everybody as possible on that, and we want to get as up-to-date information as we can. You can send me those pictures and updates. You can send them in an email down below. Instagram works fine. Facebook works fine. I can get all your videos off those as well. Some folks have sent them in as like a link to a Dropbox or a iPhone iPhone Apple box or something, and that doesn't work as good. So if you could send them to me some other way besides that. So folks that are on our support list that are leaving next week, and speaking of support list, if you're not on it and you want to be on it, the link is down below to do that, as well as to go and find all the hikers and their social media. I know you're excited about the thru hikers, Daisy, but you can go and find all the hikers and their social media on that support list. Yes, you can, girl. And that link is down below as well. So Daisy, let me continue the mission here, okay? All right, girl. So we've got Maxwell Conroy, aka Smoke. He's leaving next week. Larry Premu. Yeah, I butchered that. Sorry, Larry. Shades, Gray Dog, NASA, 007, Christine Johnson, Matthew, Mad Hermit, Blackbird, Carrie Pruitt, Mama Bear, and Baby Bear. Really looking forward to those two. That's a mother and her young daughter that are teamed together that are doing the trail. Plan 9, Shipwreck or Shipwreck. I'm not sure the way it's spelled, R-E-K. I can assure you after a week or so on the trail not having a shower, it will be Shipwreck. And then Renee Hood, she is going to be out there. So all those folks are going. Go to my support list, check them out, check out their social media, check out other folks that are on that list, and go and subscribe or whatever you do to get to their channel, and leave them an attaboy, attagirl, attaday all the way throughout the course of their trip. Let's keep them pumped up and in the hunt, going all the way to Katahdin. So registrations for this week, we had about 69 hikers that started yesterday. Obviously the trail, that's a lot of folks on the trail. The trail, according to the ATC, maxes out at 50. So that's a lot of hikers, just 50, but 69 is a tremendous amount. And we've had 14 days this year where the trail has been maxed out. So that's a pretty high number out there. But we had 69 yesterday, and that's the last day that the trail is maxed out, with the exception of April 1st. It's always maxed out on April 1st. But the population on the trail will start pretty much from here on out. Will be going down with the exception of April 1st. And so what that means is that the bubble now, the biggest part of the bubble is already moving out in front of spring, or have already got started and are going out there. And I'm tracking the leading edge with folks that are coming in. You may have noticed a lot of folks going through the Smokies there that I just updated you on. So that is where I am tracking right now. Probably the front to the mid portion of the bubble is folks between Franklin, or actually between the Knock and the Smokies, and going into the Smokies. So that means coming into Hot Springs are coming at you up there, folks. They're coming at you in Irwin and Hampton, Tennessee. They are on the way. So this week we had 2,817 NOBO that are registered. That's up 49 from last week. 138 flip-floppers is up 8, and we went up 3 on Sobo hikers that are registered to 89. So that gives us a total of 3,044 folks that are registered for their Appalachian Trail hike, up from last week of 2,984, an increase of 60 folks from last week. And so the last few weeks we've had several hundred that have that registration has increased, and so obviously we're getting less and less people register every day because we're getting on into the season. So right now we're at the NOBO season. Sometime starting probably mid-April, it's going to turn into the flip-flop season, when the big-time flip-floppers start and less NOBOs starting. So just to give you some historical data, of course, this year, like I said, we're at 3,044. This time last year, 2023, we were at 3,078, so we're down. And that trend is, we've been tracking that trend. It continues to be down. 2022, we had 3,609. So over 500 folks, around 530-ish more folks this time in 2022 than we had in 2023. 2022, we were at 2,980. In 2020, we were at 2,600. So we're up from those 2 years. So we've seen that trend come up, and 2022 was a banner year, and now it's starting to go back down a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see over the next few years how that trend continues. Want to thank a trail angel out there, or a person that agreed to be a trail angel and be on my trail angel list, and that's Fall Risk. She's up around the Rockfish Gap area in Virginia, which is around Buena Vista and the Blue Ridge Parkway, Natural Bridge area up there in Virginia, because that's kind of central to almost crossing over into the northern part of Virginia, just south of the Shenandoahs. But Fall Risk has agreed to be a trail angel up there and to be on our trail angel list. And basically what that list is just trail angels that will come out on the trail and help you out in a pinch. So for no cost, they will give you a ride somewhere. If you needed it in an emergency, bring you an emergency resupply, something of that effect out there on the trail. So there are certainly people on the trail who are shuttle drivers. They'll do that, and they charge you for that. But if you can't find a shuttle driver to do it, the time is not working out, or you need to get off an emergency, these trail angels will help you. And so I want to thank Fall Risk for putting her name out there on the trail on my list. And if you're somebody who would like to do that, let me know. I just need to know your name, what area you service, what services you're willing to provide, and how hikers can get in touch with you. I'll put you on that list. And all the hikers that request that list, it is a private list. So if you want that list, then you will have to prove to me that you're a through hiker. So you can do that by being on my support list, or you can send me your registration for the Smokies or your registration for your through hike. So everybody is supposed to register to get through the Smokies, and there are fines if you don't. Not everybody registers for through the Appalachian Trail Conservancy for their hike. So somewhere around 10 to 20% don't register. So you may not have that registration, but you'll have to have your Smokies, and you may be on my list as well. So if you're on your list, we're good to go on that. But I may still request your registration just to make sure I've vetted you out, because I don't want to give that list out to some ne'er-do-well who has an issue with trail angels, and there are people out there like that. Don't know why, but there are. So don't have a lot of news other than what we've already covered out there on the trail. I do want to, on a personal note, want to thank all the folks that have been praying and sending good thoughts for my time that I spent with Darren, and going over him, the plan of salvation, and trying to make sure that if you've been watching my channel, you know that my best friend from high school the doctors only gave him 3 weeks to live 2 weeks ago due to a glioblastoma, which is a brain cancer basically, and he's already had a portion of his brain removed, and they've not been able to stop the rest of it. So did go out with him. We spent a lot of time together that day, as much time as his body would allow him to, which was about 4 to 6 hours. Of course, not the whole time was talking about items of religion. We're just catching up and just reliving our childhood together, basically our youth together. But I did give him the plan of salvation. Unfortunately, he did not pray the sinner's prayer, and at that point in time just was not ready. I don't know what it takes, somebody going to die, I don't know what it takes to be ready, but certainly not everybody dies with accepting Christ, and that's as a Christian and as his friend, that's just something that I have to accept, that that our sovereign Lord, that he did not want to accept that. So that being said, still continue to pray for him, pray for me as I still try to minister to him. And I just greatly appreciate that. If you don't pray, send good vibes or good thoughts our way. All those things are greatly appreciated. That's what this community is about. We're all different. We all don't believe the same thing. And if there's any question you ever have at all about my beliefs, and that's something you're interested in at all, I'll be glad to answer those questions. So just send me a DM or email. Love to chat with you about that. But otherwise, appreciate you being here this week. As always, I appreciate you, and I hope to see you out here.